Welcome, everyone, to the Holstein House Podcast. I'm the West Virginia woman, Robin, of RobinHolstein.com and Holstein House, where my guests get a great night's sleep at a fair rate plus breakfast. This is a podcast that looks at society and culture issues affecting families in West Virginia and the United States, from food preparation and storage, gardening, home repairs, current events, and more. We'll go around the table and back in 60 minutes or less. So let's hang out and talk a while. Good Tuesday morning, all y'all. It's actually live this morning. I think in some of the groups and things I shared that Dad's heart cath procedure has been postponed. We think he has a UTI. And when I called the cardiologist yesterday, he said, "Oh no, I can't cut into him if he has an infection." So we have to postpone that. I'm actually waiting for a call back from his office and to see when they have rescheduled it. Now, the cardiologist, he said, we'll do it next week. Well, I don't know if he has, if his schedule allows for Dad to be fitted into next week, but we'll see. And as soon as I know something, I'll probably know today, and then I can put it in some of the groups, and I'll share it with you on Friday for sure, if nothing else is going on Friday. So yeah, hey, so this is, I am Robin Holstein of Holstein House, and this is the 95th episode of the Holstein House Broadcast, and it's Tuesday, September 5th, 2023. This morning I am talking, hosting a B&B from your home or from your small homestead, or even offsite if you like. I mean, a lot of people do that. They have properties. A big thing is they've put, the tiny homes or little campers or whatever, and they're hosting out of those offsite somewhere. Answering questions about Airbnb, running a regular B&B from your property, fall and winter preps on your garden, in your pantry, and food prep and storage questions, and anything else you happen to think of today. We'll try to answer. I'm sorry, I am kind of not only just stammering a little bit this morning, but I also have a little bit of this allergy stuff going on. There's still some dampness in the basement here after last week's flood, and I'm having a little issue with some of the moldy mildew stuff that I haven't got cleaned up yet. And I've got some of it done. I've still got a lot more to do. It's just been really hectic. Good morning, Mike, the Philippine Nomad. It is so good to see you live this morning. I just saw on the Telegram group the picture that you posted with the little planter that you'd been putting some composting stuff in and getting some new life out of that. That was fun to look at. That's exciting when you do stuff like that and it actually works. I have that with a little lemon seed that I saved a while back, and it's now a couple foot tall, and it's in the bathroom. I have to repot it. The plan has been the last several days to repot that, but I've had distractions galore, and thankfully the little plant is being a little forgiving, but it's not going to be forgiving much longer. So I need to get that taken care of. I hope you're staying dry down there. I know you guys have had a lot of rough weather as well, a lot worse than what I had here. Of course, there's a lot of people in the community that had it a lot worse than I had here. We had quite a bit of water last week, and whew, that was rough on me. And I didn't hardly have any. I mean, we had water in the basement, but we didn't have, the mud and the nastiness, and we didn't lose our house and everything. And there's still a lot of people struggling with that. Well, so let's get going this morning. We'll talk a little bit about around the Holstein House this morning. This is where we're going to talk about what's going on with the B&B or the bed and breakfast, and our new quick camp set up that we have, some upcoming reservations, some trials and tribulations, guests from heaven, guests from hell, if it relates to bed and breakfast. And then we'll discuss that here. We have just recently had a multi-night stay here at Holstein House. We had a young couple. They currently live in Louisville, Kentucky, but they're originally from India, and they were here on a motorcycle jaunt through West Virginia. They went up to New River Gorge, and they poked around up there for a day, and then they went back up and did some four-wheeling. One of the outfitters up in that area has a four-wheeler experience set up, and they went up and did that, and they had a really good time. They said we didn't get to talk a lot because they left shortly after breakfast because they were taking their motorcycles up, and they stayed the day, and then they come back in to shower and then went out for dinner and then come back. So, but that's the nature of the beast here when we do these in-home guests at the B&B, and they were really, really pleasant people, and they were very interested in the ducks and chickens. As a matter of fact, they came in on a Friday evening, and on Saturday morning, after they were having breakfast, they poked their heads outside. Mr. Holstein was starting to cut up some of that tree that we had down a couple weeks ago, and he was getting to the bigger pieces. He had already sorted, the smaller branches and things to one side and to another, and he had the saw out, and he was sawing stuff. And they came out while I was feeding the ducks and the chickens, and they started asking questions about them, and wanted to know, can they come out? I'm like, yeah, sure, come on. And they were very fascinated, and they came out a little while on Sunday as well, and and talked a little bit. I didn't have as much time on Sunday because I had to get ready to go to church, but we talked a good little bit yesterday as well, and they were just very, very polite, very clean as far as tidying the room. They didn't leave a big mess, and they the food that they brought in, they made sure that it wasn't laying on stuff. It was in the trash can. I mean, you sometimes will have guests that they just don't care. And so they'll leave wet towels on your good furniture. They'll leave trash in the floor. They won't ask about a trash can. They just throw stuff all over, and you go in, and it's a nightmare to clean the room. This young couple had all of their water bottles that they had brought in with them, which I had told them. I said, we've got filtered water in the refrigerator, but they brought, they went ahead and got their own water, and they had them all in one bag, and they had their food wrappers and things in another. I mean, I just was able to go in and say, pick it all up and take it out. It wasn't a matter. I didn't have to scrub. I do need to run the vacuum again. I wanted to, because this isn't a reflection on my guests. This is a reflection on the reality of renting a room out of your home, or even, an off-site establishment, is that when you have people coming and going, you don't know where they've been, and so you don't know what they might be bringing with them. In the case of just using this couple, and I've mentioned this before with other folks, they were going out to the New River Gorge. They would be walking the trails out in the woods, and the possibility for them to bring in the dog's sitting over here, bring in ticks and things into the house is very high, because if you're out in the woods poking around, walking the trails, and doing those kind of things, getting ticks on your clothes is very possible. So one of the things that I do is I spray the rooms, then I vacuum, then I spray them again, and that helps reduce the possibility that ticks or things like that are brought into the room. And you also have the reality of bed bugs. People who travel can bring bed bugs. They can be very clean people. It doesn't have anything to do with their hygiene or anything like that. Bed bugs can get on your luggage, can get in your clothes and things just from setting them down in the floors in your guest room. So you go to a hotel and you set your things down on the floor. If someone before you brought in bed bugs, then you can pick those up on your luggage and bring them in. And it's with international travelers and things like that, it increases the possibility that you're going to experience that. So having a good precautionary setup in your establishment is key to keeping those kind of things under control, and not having someone come in and say, "Oh my gosh," and that's another reason you go through and you inspect. It's a big reason I use white sheets or light colored sheets and light colored blankets and light colored duvet and things, so that I can spot these things before they get out of hand. So they were a very, very, very nice couple. They took good care of the room. It was a really nice experience having them stay, and they were very fun to talk to. And Betty and Bob liked them, so they didn't get too excited that they came and went. They were pretty well adjusted to them. They liked them very well. I have a new promo code for my direct book guests related specifically to the podcast or broadcast. And I've been saying this for a little while that I needed to update that. Well, I've done that now. And so folks who hear this on podcast or see the video on YouTube or Rumble or wherever else it may end up, we now have Broad 5. So that's easy to remember. Broad, BROAD, and the number 5, Broad 5, is a 5% discount for your direct book stay at Holstein House. So if you go to Holstein House on robinholstein.com, and I need to get back on building the holsteinhouse.com page. I don't have that up and ready yet, but you go to robinholstein.com, look for Holstein House on the menu, click on the words Holstein House, and check your dates for your travel. If you're traveling to or through West Virginia on Interstate 6477 or the West Virginia Turnpike, then if the dates are open and you want to stay with us, when you book the room, use Broad 5 and you will get 5% off your stay at Holstein House. Oh, let's see where I'm. Quick Camp. We are setting up our Quick Camp, which is a tent camping stopover here at Holstein House. It's not quite ready. I'm still waiting to get the roof on the doghouse finished up, and that should happen this week. I need to do some additional cleaning of the yard now that the garden, and we'll touch on that a little bit, is about over, and get things sorted and set out and look around and see where the best spots for this, that, and the other are. We'll have 3 spaces for tent camping. This will be for 1 or 2 night stays only. We're not doing long-term stopovers. It's just a quick 1 or 2 nights for folks who are tent campers who are traveling, to or through West Virginia using the West Virginia Turnpike, Interstate 6477. We're not a campground, so we're not going to have long-term stays here. We're just going to have 1 or 2 night stays as a maximum. Well, 1 night or 2 night maximum, I guess, is the best way to put that. So we're just offering quick stop for tent campers traveling through the area. Simply setting aside enough space for a 2-person tent. We're not looking at we're not going to be open to children because of the pets and the birds and things. We don't provide anything for children, so this would just be 1 or 2 adults in passing through. We might offer a fire pit because the outdoor burning season is such that, and conditions can be such that you're not allowed to use them all the time. So I don't want to say it's always going to be there. It's going to be there. Most like I'm going to try to have something, but it will only be available when we're permitted, when it's not when it is a burning season, that you can have fire outdoors and there's not some kind of ban because of the weather. Because sometimes it gets dry and they throw the flag and say no outside burning period, until further notice, and it may be a couple weeks. So it'll revolve around that. But I have a small fire pit. I don't really like it that well. It's on wheels and it's kind of clunky, and the top flies off all the time every time a gust of wind comes through with a rainstorm. So I want to get something different. I have it in my mind what I want, but I don't know where I want to put it. So putting a regular fire pit ring in the yard means that there's a burn spot in the yard. We have an area that we burn woody debris, like he's burning the trees and stuff. That's not the area that would be conducive to the tent camping. So I'm trying to work that out in my mind, how we'll get that. I like the idea of the one that I have, which is small because it's on wheels. I can move it back and forth, but I don't like it. I don't know if that makes any sense. But I don't like the style of it, I guess, is what I'm looking at. Airbnb is always an option if you want to book Holstein House. We do have an account, have had an account with Airbnb since 2017. And we've been Superhost, and we've lost Superhost, we've been Superhost, we've lost Superhost. And the Superhost calculation is done on the number of stays in a given period of time. They look at it over a year, from like today, a year back, and then, tomorrow to be tomorrow and a year back. So it's not like from January to December. So it's a year from the current date back. And if you don't have a lot of stays in that period of time, like a lot of times I block off time through the holidays, so it cuts down on the number of stays, then the ratio is shifted. The ratio's changed. So it's not like you've had 5 bookings a week for 52 weeks. I've had 5 bookings in a period of 5 months, say, just because of the weather. I mean, it's just an example. So that percentage changes all the time of what constitutes the high percentage. And if you get hit with a low star rating at all, and we've talked about this before, that one of the ladies that stayed here, she'd booked for 2 nights. She didn't read the description completely, and so she was mad when I reminded her that she had to check in by 6 o'clock in the evening. Between the window of check-in is 3 to 6 p.m. She was mad. It was a nasty, not nasty, I mean, just a contentious back and forth in the messaging of Airbnb, and she hit me with 2s across the board, simply because she was unhappy that I said, you didn't read, you have to be here. That's part of the process. That's part of my rules. And she said, well, I've never heard of, who would have thought and all this. And I'm like, it's right there. It's right there. And we've had the number of reviews and the number of people we've had stay that get it, that saw it, and then she didn't. Anyway, it's really tough to challenge that, which is another reason using Airbnb is so frustrating for the host, is because the ratings are so subjective. I get hit every now and again that the location is not very good. Well, it's very, I'm very upfront about the community that the house is in, how far it is from here to Charleston, how far it is to New River Gorge. I give that in miles and time. On average, it takes, if you take the interstate, it takes 45 minutes to get to New River Gorge. But if you take US 60 and the traffic's bad and you get behind a log truck, I mean, it could take a lot longer. So anyway, so the ratings that's how they determine the Superhost status. I don't get all jacked up about it. I don't try to oversell and overpromise and just butter everybody up to get those 5-star ratings. I'm very honest with them. Look, I want you to be fair, but I also want you to read. You have to read. So when I get a new booking, I say, please make sure you've read the entire description, because the most frequently missed thing is the check-in window, and here it is. So it can be frustrating, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. I've been with Airbnb since 2017. We were closed during that period when everything was closed back in, the spring of 2020. Um, I probably won't do that again. I have the ability to direct book. I have the alternative AirBTC, which is a beta program for booking using Bitcoin. Um, I if you are a person who is going to be traveling and it looks like things are going to get cracked down, Airbnb was insane. They wanted X amount of nights in between bookings. So if you came in today and you checked out in the morning, they didn't want that room booked again, and they would block your calendar for you. That kept me from getting bookings. So it was so frustrating, the things that they wanted you to prove as a host, that I just closed my calendar for a big period of time through the winter in 2020. And so, I debated and debated on whether to even continue with them because it was so aggravating. But they weren't the only ones. I don't use the other online travel companies. So um, I have the ability to direct book. And so those who are of like mind, who are not afraid to travel, will be able to go to robinholstein.com and direct book. So I'm happy to be able to do that. What are the amenities of the quick camp? Well, what are the amenities of the quick camp? Mike is asking. Not a whole lot. It's just a spot to stop, Mike. It's just I will probably provide, but it's especially for the nights, an outdoor toilet facility. It's not going to be a porta john kind of thing, because that if I had a bigger place and was doing and expecting to have campers all the time, I might put a porta john out there. But I will have a very rustic facility, you might say, with a hand washing station and a toileting facility and um, a way to take care of all of that waste and things. So, but it's just really going to be a spot for your tent between here and there, because if you're not wanting to get off of the beaten path and go out to one of the national parks to stop overnight, if you're traveling north to south or south to north, and you don't want, because to get to some of the campgrounds you got to go off the interstate 20 or 30 minutes, which is not a whole lot, but I'm just a few miles. It takes about 5 minutes to get here off of the interstate. And if you're just looking for a spot to stop and rest, then you'll be welcome once we get everything set up. I'll have a pop-up toilet house thing. I forget what it's actually called, but it's a pop-up. And I'll have a place to go, and then I have a hand washing station that will have a pump. Like you use with your foot, you pump the water, wash your hands, towels on the side, and that kind of stuff. I'll have a picture that I can share when I get everything ready and set up a spot, and I'll have a picture to show. So a hose and bucket would do me fine. A bucket will be part of it. I've already worked it out in my mind. So there would be two. One would have some pine pelleting to cover up and absorb, and the other one, I don't want to get too graphic, but yeah, the kind of stuff that you would you would take with you camping, you know, and so it would be it's like a double pop-up shower thing, but one side would be for the toilet bucket and the other side for the hand washing. I actually did get because I was going to do the hip camp and then they turned me down. So I had I know that people will need to go at night. And through the day, it'd be okay to come into the house. But through the night, I'm going to have the house locked up. But this would be one of those pop-up shower tent thingies where you can have the toilet bucket on one side and the hand washing station, and it's a plastic hand washing or plastic PVC thing that will have towels and stuff on it. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. I'll show everybody when I get it together, and but I want to get the doghouse roof finished up so that I can kind of set it up, and it'll be easier for everybody to understand when I do that. General projects around the house, around Holstein House, the doghouse, which I've talked about ad nauseum, is the roof is just about finished. They've been coming around 9:30 or 10 in the mornings. I don't think they're here yet this morning. I haven't seen any evidence of them. I've got a little window here. I could have watched them walk past. Might have missed it, but I don't think I did. They have all of the roofing on, I believe, from where I could see. But they have these, they're not really vents, but so it's a metal roof, and so the metal roofs come here, and then you have like a cap piece that goes over the top. So they've got to do that, I believe. I believe that's the last piece they've got, and then clean up after themselves, and then hand me a bill. I have to pay. It's going to be crazy, but I should be able to start clearing stuff out now, getting rid of stuff that doesn't need to be in there. I don't sell things very well. I really don't. I'm not. I mean, I can have a yard sale. I could have gold bricks out there for $2 a piece, and people would not stop at my yard sale. So I just don't have stuff that people like to buy, I guess. But I will try to get some of that stuff to the local thrift and nonprofits like the Goodwills and the Salvation Armies and the Mountain Mission and the Union Mission and stuff like that are in the area. Heart and Hands, which is affiliated with the Methodist Church, we'll try to get stuff out to everybody. So there's a lot of things in there, a lot of books and things that I have collected over the course of my career, and as a administrative assistant, virtual assistant, virtual administrative consultant. There's over the course of my career, I mean, I'm 58. I've done a lot of stuff, and I've got a lot of books. I love books. I hate to get rid of books, but there's probably a lot there that I need to just let go. I mean, I'm surrounded by books right here, and I probably haven't cracked most of them, in probably 10 years or more. So it's because some of them don't apply to me now in the stage of life that I'm in and the things that I'm doing career-wise and stuff. So I could let them go. I just hate to. I just hate to. So, but I need to get on that. The Ramsey house, it's still there. I've got to empty it as well. So I have these two structures I've got to empty. I've just got to be able to do it. I've got to find time to do it. And it's really more difficult than I imagined. It's like, oh, well, we can just get rid of all this stuff. Well, now I've got to do it. And keeping up with everything else, and there's just one of me and all the rest of it. It's really challenging to get all of these things done. The basement, the bunker where I'm at now, where I do most of my live recordings here in my broadcasting. I do my coursework for the church. I do my notary work when I have it, and I do my record keeping and paying bills and all that stuff. There is still some dampness here that I've got to find and deal with. I can feel and smell the damp, moldy mildew, and I've just got to get rid of some more stuff. So I'm not sure where it is. But anyhow, I've got to get that done as well. The garden, we have right now the outside garden, the container garden, is just about shot. Of course, we took a big hit figuratively and literally when the tree limb came down a few weeks ago and took out the tomato plants. The green pepper plants were making a comeback, and I looked this morning, and it does appear that something has nibbled away all of the green peppers that were coming on. So I looked at that while I was filling up the duck water in the little swimming pools, and I just shook my head because I just am at wit's end with this. There's nothing I can do now at this point to even protect them, to get them up. And I didn't have this issue before, but a neighbor feeds the groundhog, and she was tickled at one point because she was able to actually hold food out, like, I don't know if it was lettuce or cabbage or whatever she was holding out to them, and the one would get right up to her and take it from her. So she was tickled with herself about that. Well, that's all well and good, but now the groundhog has decimated my garden. And there's baby groundhogs, and so the proliferation of groundhog. I could eat them. But so the outside garden is winding down. The strawberries on the front porch are winding down. I'm in the process of trying to decide how to manage them. There's no electric at the doghouse. The meter's gone. The electric is on glass fuses. All that's got to be replaced. So I can run an extension cord enough to put some things out there. I could put strawberries. I could put my plants out there that I want to try to overwinter. I'm not sure. I have an area here in the bunker that I tried to save my ferns last year, and it was a really big mess. But it involves one of those grow lights that has red and blue on it, and I know I didn't have that thing dialed in correctly, and I just really cooked most of the stuff that was in there. It didn't turn out well at all. But I can try that again. I can trim those strawberry plants back. I can take the babies and put them in some soil and set them somewhere different and try a couple of different methods with them and see if I can save them through into next spring. I did have someone from the extension office tell me that if you can keep, like potatoes, if you can keep the potatoes from freezing when we have our coldest spells, and we usually get maybe a couple weeks altogether of really hard freeze. We get cold, we get below freezing, but hard freeze, we don't get hard freeze very long. That like keeping container potatoes against the house where you can protect them from the cold, you could probably salvage or keep your potato plants all year round. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to try a couple other things, and I'm going to see if I can keep those. I just hate to buy them again. I end up with all these plastic plants, and planters, I should say, not plastic plants, but planters. And I get tired of trying to deal with those and tired of trying to throw them away or recycle them, and it's aggravating. Oh, livestock. Here I want to talk a little bit about the chickens and ducks and other potential small food sources. The chickens they continue to not. Oh, hey, Carla. Good to see you. I don't know when you came in there, if you're still there. I'm reading some other stuff, so I'm not seeing the live feed the live chat there as much as what I'm reading. But the livestock, I've got the chickens are winding down. They're molting again, some of them, and they are not producing eggs as often. So it's taking multiple days to get just even 6 or 8 eggs. I'm not in a hurry to dispatch them Maybe I should be. But because they're still free range and they're still out in the yard, eating mostly bugs and grubs and things that chickens eat. So they're not really costing me that much in feed. They are eating a little bit, but I'm not putting out as much either. So the ducks, I've had a conversation with Mr. Holstein. I've kind of decided to take the young males, the drakes, and leave Daddy Duck because um, he'll be tough meat. The baby ducks, well, they're not babies anymore; they're grown, but um, the male, the young males will not be as tough. Um, I'm not going to fool around with trying to rehome them. I just don't see. I've kind of been looking around at requests and people. I don't see people saying I need some drakes. I need to diversify the genetics in my ducks. Um, uh, Brood of ducks, or flock is the word I'm looking for, and I don't see that. Everybody's trying to get rid of males of all kinds, males chickens, males ducks, male all kind of stuff, because you only really need one, if you need that, if you're going to breed them. Daddy duck is proven. Yeah, he's old. He could keel over at any time, I guess, really. But that's pretty much what I've decided. So we talked about it. He has dispatched uh, poultry before as a younger man living with his parents, and I told him, I said, "Well, don't I need to get a cone and don't because we need to drain?" No, we don't need all that stuff. Just need a hatchet. Well, okay, I guess I can just use a hatchet. I would rather he do it, but I need to do it. I need to do it. I need to be the one. I need to be able to do it because mostly they're mine. So I need to do that, but I'll have to. He is more a fan of skinning them rather than plucking because it's quicker and easier. I'm sitting here thinking, but the skin has some great nutrients and fats and stuff, and I don't. I kind of don't want to skin them. I want to keep the skin on them. So I maybe one of each because we gotta take two. We gotta take two. So that's where we are. That's gonna happen. I need a cooler day, or it needs to be cooler evening because I don't want to be fighting the heat and the stink and the bugs and stuff. I haven't. I can't wait too very long because they're being very rough with the female ducks, and we're talking, two males trying to get after one female, and it doesn't work out very well, but they keep trying it, and it's just very rough, and I just don't want to do that. So we got to pick the dates for that. Church life, here's where I talk about things going on with my faith or with my church and with my studies in the church. I have completed what is it? Is it 6 or 5? I forget. So the certified lay minister class that I'm taking isn't exactly 12 classes. It takes a year. It's like 8 classes, and I am on. I just submitted. Let me see. Is it 6? I want to say it's 6. Yeah, assignment 6. So we've got. Well, we meet at the beginning of the month to go over the prior month stuff. So the stuff that I just submitted for assignment 6 was for August. So I've got to complete September, October, November, December. And January, I'm pretty sure, is not a full course. I might have that wrong, but I'm pretty sure January is just a wrap up kind of thing. So we'll have that done. I've got about 5 more months of course work to do on that, and I will submit. It doesn't automatically mean I'm a certified lay minister. It means that I have completed the coursework, and then there's an interview that has to happen. And I interview with folks at the district office, and I'm not sure. I think it's like a team, including my district superintendent, but I don't think the bishop is there. And then if I meet all their qualifications, whatever that means, they would certify me as a lay minister. And I'm actually having a couple of down days on that. I'm really struggling. Our church hasn't. We're kind of hanging in there, but that's about it. So we're kind of stagnant. I was really excited a couple weeks ago because we had some increase in activity. We had some increase in people participating, and then it kind of fell away. Now I'm it may just be, a phase. It may be just that I'm tired, and I'll be all right once I get a little more rest or I get over a few things. But I'm really struggling with the ability to keep the church going, and I'm not getting things that I need to keep certain things going. We have a newsletter that goes out, and I had asked for some input on that newsletter and got a message, "Hey, I'm running behind, but I'll get it to you." And I'm like, "Okay, great." Well, that was a week ago, and it needed to go out last week. So I'm trying to finish it up this morning or today and get that out today or tomorrow, because I really like I said, I wanted it out last week. I want it out ahead. I don't want it. I mean, when I ask for this letter to go in it, I said, I need it before the end of the month so that it goes out. And I didn't get it. So I'm frustrated with that. I'm frustrated with not a lot of support. Well, we have support. We have members who are still supporting. We have members who are faithful to the church. That's not what I mean. I'm just kind of tired. I think that's what it boils down to. I'm just tired, and I'm having a bad couple of days, and that's it. But my faith is strong. I know the Lord is with me, and the Lord can make anything happen if He wants it to, and I believe that He wants it to. And I'm just having a couple down days about it. So I've got my ums back. I've noticed that I've been doing that. My ums are back. Oh, what happened there? There it is. Oh, thought I'd lost something there. Well, kids, let's see. What are we doing? We got about 20 more minutes. I kind of rambled through stuff pretty quick. I don't want you to forget, if you come along this far, don't forget to like, and so if you haven't already subscribed, please do, and thumbs up. The thumbs up does help whenever, regardless of whether you see it live or whether you see it in a replay. The thumbs up does help poke those algorithms, as I say in the beginning, towards the end, and it helps create a cycle of the video being shown to other people, and it helps spread the word, and it helps us reach more people. And I'm hoping that I can create a little more interesting live streams with a little more interesting information. I'm going to also try. I'm going to try to rework some of the subject matter, and try to focus a little more, and or find a better focus for this. I feel as though that there's something that people are looking for that they're not getting, but I don't know what that is because they're not sharing with me. Well, I like this part, but I didn't like this part. I need to know more about something else. I need to know more, share more recipes, share more videos of you making recipes, share more videos of the ducks. So I'm looking for some input. I do need to get the regular page rebuilt for Holstein House and stop and get it off of my own personal site. Not that there's anything wrong with my personal site, but I think it's marketing wise, it's going to be a little better to get HolsteinHouse.com up and running. That's going to take some time to sit down and focus. And one of the things I just don't have a lot of is that kind of time. I've gotten myself scattered, as we all tend to do sometimes, and sometimes it's hard to pull back in. Excuse me for turning around here. For those of you watching the live feed, I am going to work on, not that, promoting a couple of things that I've kind of touched on, but I don't really, I feel very self-conscious promoting myself, and I know that I'm not the only one. I know a lot of people do that. One of the things that I don't promote very well is my book, Everyday Upcycle. And I'm going to show this to you here for those of you on the video. I've showed this before. I've talked about it before. Everyday Upcycle is a compilation of articles that I wrote or stories that I wrote on upcycling projects when I was writing for Two Lane Living, which was a magazine put out by my friend Lisa Miney. And they're very, very simple little projects that anybody can do. Like here's one, taking old jelly jars and making apothecary jars out of them. Let's see if you can see that without much glare. There we go. Apothecary jars. Taking old cabinet doors and making little chalkboard signs. Taking old, oh, those are old pants. Where is it? Darn it. Oh, there's my rain barrels. I've showed the rain barrels to you before. What I want to, there's one. This is one of my all-time favorites. I called them seamstress little helpers, and you're using little vintage plates and candle holders to make magnetized, well, seamstress helpers. They hold your straight pins, and you can hold a couple little pair of scissors and some thread and bobbins and stuff when you're sewing or embroidery or anything like that. So I have that book out there. I also have all little tea for tweets. I called it tea for tweets, and as you take these vintage teacups, or they can be cracked coffee cups or anything that you could use and making birdseed holders out of them. So there were several things out of that, and that's Everyday Upcycle. That's available on Amazon. I think I have it marked down to like, I don't know, a couple bucks or so. And now this one is more recent, and I've shared this with several of you, and it's the recipe book, Super Meals for Tight Budgets. And this is a recipe book that uses soup. It's soup-based foods. This is hard because it's actually an ebook. You can print it out on 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper, which is what I've done, and then bind it yourself. So, which is also what I've done. So, if you can, the glare on this stuff, I'm never sure about the glare. So this one is breakfast bacon and tomato. And you take bacon, you take cheddar cheese soup, milk, lemon juice, cayenne pepper, a couple medium tomatoes, and some toast. And you make a good breakfast out of that. And that's, now granted, the stuff in this, and I always try to point this out, they're kind of high in sodium because the soups are high in sodium. But this is really easy stuff that you can use, and you can keep your family fed in between paydays or really when times are extra tight. Then I have in there, I have a list. This was the day, this was back in October of last year, the prices of the soups as of last year to give you an idea of how much each can cost. And then you're using each can for more than one serving. So prices per serving. I talked a little bit about breads and crackers, servings, cheeses, storing unused soup, use by dates. I have a shopping list for, see again the glare, shopping list for the entire recipe book. And so what you get in this one is breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, soup based, conversion table for measurements, ways to connect with me, and a little bit about my background, links used in the publication. Because in the front of it, I talk a little bit about my history, and you can't read it here. It's a letter to anybody who's reading it, and it talks about when I was a young housewife, a young military EF or PFC wife in the military, and things. I talk a little bit about rehydrating and dehydrating and stuff like that in there. But so it's super meal ideas for tight budgets, and it is a direct download. I can. It's on my website. It's a direct download. You can go to robinholstein.com and get that. Carla says, I remember this, and I'm not sure what it was you remembered, Carla. What did you remember? The book? The recipe book? Or the upcycling, probably the upcycling book, because she says she's been upcycling for a long time, for decades. Yeah, upcycling is just using stuff in a new way, using old stuff in a new way. Triple X, greetings. I love you too. Oh, you must be a scammer. You know you've hit the big time when you got, the upcycling book. Yeah. Carla says the upcycling book. I don't know who Triple X is. Might not want to know who Triple X is. Just keep it clean. Keep it clean. So I've got those things going on. That I have shared. I've got a couple other books on Amazon as well. I've got a nursery rhyme book. Let me see if I can share the cover on that. I've got a window here somewhere that. I've got. I know this is. I forgot to share this with you. I was going to share this with you. This is. I did some work on the chicken coop. I want to smack the roof because the dog's up there chewing on his dumb leg where he's been in the cat food again. I can hear him. So real quick, on the chicken coop, I changed some stuff. Remember, I told you a while back that I have it's like a Rubbermaid building. It's a plastic building, and this is where my coop is. So what you're seeing now, for those of you who are looking, and for those of you who are on the audio only, I'm sorry you can't see this. This is the inside of the coop. I just changed out the litter. I took out the decomposing pine shavings and stuff out and put some fresh straw in. So these two things here are plastic milk crates, and you can get them in a lot of places. I've had these for a long time, as you can tell. I've had them in the coop for a long time. I had them fastened a little differently, though. I had them zip tied together and kind of strapped and hanging from a fastener. I didn't get a good picture of the actual fastener, but this building, this storage building, came with these, and they're kind of L-shaped. And down in here, they have a little screw on them that you screw, and they're designed to put up shelving and stuff that are made for this particular type of plastic storage building. But what I did is I drilled a hole in the back of this plastic milk crate and fastened this little bracket or whatever it's called to it so that I could hang these. So there's two, one on each corner on the inside of the storage shed. There are also two, as you see these boards back, these roost boards back here. There are two on each end. I screwed those into two on each end of these boards to make roosts for the chickens. And it has worked out really well. Oh, this is a little video. I think it will play. Let me see if it'll play. Yeah, you should be able to see this. For those of you on the, I'm not sure if the audio is going to sound on it. It's just the girls making noises. That's all it is. It's not me talking in the background or anything. And what it's going to show is this girl's going to be interested in this, and she's going to hop up there here in just a second. I really don't want to take all 3 minutes to do this, though. Let's see. Can I speed this up? She's looking around. She's looking around to see the thing. This is the wrong dumb video. I shouldn't have picked this one. Actually, I didn't pick it. It was just there on the there she is. She's looking. Hey, what's that? What's that? Something new right there. What is that? I'm going to give that a quick look. Well, nope. Maybe I'll go. What? No, I'm gonna. Nope. Psych. Psyching you out. Psyching you out, and whoop. I'm gonna maybe not. I'm gonna look at this more. Am I gonna? There we go. So she hopped up in there. Now I'll save you from all the rest of that. She let me put that on there. She did get up there and sit down and poke around a little bit, and then she hopped right back out. So there's that. Well, kids, we are close. What are we? About 2.5 minutes away from being finished up for the day. I really appreciate you guys being here and stopping in. I am working on a new layout or a new format on the. I'm struggling here because I'm distracted. Sorry. A new format for the broadcast, and I really want to dial it in. I really want to dial it in and get a little more focused, and I'm not really sure what that is. I am such an eclectic person. I'm all over the place all the time. I'm into so many different little things and pulled in so many different directions that I can't focus on one thing. And it shows. It shows. So I do appreciate you guys being here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for the day. Carla, thank you for stopping in. It's good to see you again. I haven't seen you for a little while. We still haven't done that lunch. I still have your shirt over here. I'm not wearing it. This one's mine. But I do want to, I do need to also design a few more things for the Etsy store. I do even have an Etsy store, and I don't even spend enough time on that. So maybe I will, I need to do a few 10, 20-second commercial type things and get those posted. I have done a few shorts. I've been doing a few clips and shorts and putting a few things up to try to see how that's going to work. It's done a little bit for drawing attention to the shorts, but it hasn't done anything to help the subscriptions. So we'll see. I have to get something else worked out, but that's okay. It's a marathon. That's what they like to say, not a sprint. So I'm going to go there, and I really appreciate you guys being here today. I appreciate you um, chiming in and sharing your thoughts, and Mike and Carla and even Triple X there. Thanks a lot, and I will see you again soon. Okay? Bye-bye. So there you have it. Post your comments, do all that boosting, liking, sharing, thumbs up, and stuff that helps spread the word and poke the algorithms. Follow me on most of the big social media platforms and look for my name, Robin Holstein, or Holstein House. Till next time, bye-bye.